Hello, and welcome to episode 31 of our Ellie.Talks, your insights in the world of sustainable textiles and fashion. Today we have someone next to me with a very nice name, Mr. Alby Roseveare, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
And the topic of today will be about building a circular story through reverse logistics in a very specific sector. So Alby, you're the co-founder of Woosh, which is a diaper service for daycare centers with a circular mission. And this is what we're going to talk about today. Before we start, Alby, you're very welcome here. We would like to know a little bit about you. What drives you in life, in personal life, and also in business?
Yeah, thanks for having me. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. What drives me? It's a good question. Everything to do with sustainability. I have to be honest. Things which really add value to society, and looking at things in a different way, and the energy that you can get by being, let's say, creating new things, new services, new businesses, new technologies, and seeing them have an impact on how, let's say, society and the economy work. So for me, those are big drivers. Okay. I have also a young family at home, so 2 small children in and out of the diapers. So both in my home life as in my professional life, surrounded by diapers, as you mentioned.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about where the idea came from, but I already have a little bit of a hint there. Can you maybe explain a little bit about how the idea for Woosh started?
Sure.
The beginning phase.
Yeah, so actually the beginning seed for Woosh, the seed idea came from a project that me and my 2 co-founders, Wouter van Damme and Jeff Stubbe, were working on. About 3 years ago, or over now, 3.5 years ago, we started a project for a large diaper manufacturer, Ontex, around the circular economy of diapers, and how could Ontex, as a producer of disposable hygiene product, mean something in the circular economy of diapers, to be defined, what the circular economy of diapers means. But therein was really the seed planted for our concepts, our business concepts, and we had the chance to, let's say, water it and let it grow into what it is today in a completely independent way.
Okay, that's great to jump in an independent way. When you start from a project there, I think we read on your website you want to get shit done. I don't know if that's related to the diaper business, but can you maybe explain to the listeners and viewers as well what the mission of the company is? You explained the idea, but what is your mission? How does Diaper as a service work?
Yeah, so our mission as a company is to, let's say, make diapers circular. So there are many touch points in all kinds of areas of a diaper life, let's say, but that's the core mission of the company. It touches on a few different things. It means looking at what a diaper is made of and how we design products with the end of life in mind. And it also means how to deliver this into the market in an economical way, which adds value to customers, and also how we deal with the product after use, so at the end of its life. And we see this as a kind of whole ecosystem that Woosh is building, and Woosh's mission is indeed to grow this ecosystem so it becomes a bit the new normal of how you could think about disposable products and how we could make the transition to a more circular way of doing business and using products today.
Okay, so cooperation is also crucial in your story there.
Yeah, it's a very big part of what makes those kind of ecosystems possible.
Yeah. Okay, in the intake call we had before, you also talked about the chicken and egg problem of diaper waste. Can you explain what you mean by that? Yeah,
sure. So if we focus on how to deal with disposable diapers, then some different options for let's say, dealing with the end-of-life product. One of the most obvious that comes to light is recycling. And we know technologically diaper recycling has been possible for the last 30 or 40 years even. First diaper recycling project started many years ago. Technologically, there are solutions. What we see is there is if we study all of the cases where these technologies have been tried and tested in the world, we see that there is a big barrier to entry and a big challenge which continues to be felt, which is more about the ecosystem itself. So, and what I mean is collection of the waste and availability of a stream of waste to feed into a diaper recycling installation. What we call the chicken and egg problem is a little bit a vicious circle. So what we see is in Belgium, for example, there is no available diaper recycling plant today. And therefore, municipalities, afval intercommunales, companies are not incentivized or motivated to begin collecting the waste separately, and vice versa. Without a stream of pure diapers to feed into a diaper recycling plant, we see that there's very little motivation to invest. And we see this as a bit of a vicious circle. And this was actually one of the core, say, starting points of the concept of Woosh. How can we break this vicious circle? How can we come with a different solution which allows us to either motivate somebody to place recycling plants, or perhaps within the model that we create or within the ecosystem, we can really build it in as a full loop and a full solution.
Okay, it's very similar to the challenges, I think, in the textile and fashion recycling system as well, because the availability of and the collection and logistics there are identified as the biggest challenge. So it's very remarkable. It's the same in your case. So after really defining the problem in the market, how did you go about first steps then to create Woosh?
Yeah. So what Woosh does then, to be very concrete, we deliver diapers, new diapers to daycares, and in the same movement with the same vehicle and with the same driver, we collect the diaper waste which they produce over the last week.
So is it non-woven diapers, or is it textile?
Correct. Correct. It's non-woven diapers. So this is what we call diapers as a service. This is a bit the business model of Woosh, and how we began.
Das. We don't have that yet.
No, not yet. No.
We have was and sas and kaas.
Indeed, yeah. Maybe it's the next one. How did we start? It's a good question. So in January 2021, we founded the company legally with the idea of we have to have everything ready within 3 months to really start the pilot project. That means operational, driving around with diapers, collecting waste, with 25 daycare locations. By the 1st of April 2021. So those first 3 months were very intense. We did a lot of preparation, designing the service, the business model, everything. And indeed, we were able then to start on the 1st of April with 25 customers who, let's say, supported our mission.
1st of April.
Yeah, indeed. Supported our mission and believed in what we were trying to do. Who signed up to us, and it was immediately, let's say, we felt immediately that there was a lot of traction in the market. And actually, from that moment, we never officially stopped the pilot project, but we grew, and from that moment till today, we continue to grow.
Yeah, so you have a very specific approach with regards to focusing first on the reverse logistics. But of course, as you mentioned, it's very difficult to set up. Can you maybe elaborate on that? Why is it so difficult?
Yeah. Today, let's say the way I see the economy, how let's say 95% of the economy works is in a very linear way, and you can pull that into the way products are designed, the way the waste is dealt with, the way the logistics are also organized. What we mean by reverse logistics system is in the same vehicle. We both deliver a new product and we fill the space that new product had in the vehicle with the old product. It means that we have a very efficient way of running our logistics operations. And if you compare that to how it works today, you have, imagine you wanted to set up a diaper service today to daycares. Probably what you would do is fill a van in the morning with fresh products, drive for a day, delivering diapers, and at the end of the day, return back to your logistics hub or warehouse with an empty van. The opposite would be the case for a waste collector. So a big waste truck would set off in the morning, empty, collect waste throughout the day, and return to the waste depot full of waste. That means in both those cases, you have 50% of the time the vehicle is not being used to its maximum capacity. And what we do with Woosh is we overlap them effectively, and so we try to use our vehicles and logistics as maximum to the maximum efficiency we can, and that has a lot of challenges. Those kind of systems don't really exist today. They exist in a few limited, very niche sectors, but we're dealing with really a hygiene product. It's a new product, and the waste, which is almost one of the most triggering types of waste you can imagine. So in a first instance, to put those together in the same vehicle is already some people can is that safe? Is it? We developed a lot of systems to make sure that we indeed prove to legislators, prove to policymakers that the way we transport our goods and our waste is very hygienic. For example, we had to look for a long time for a particular container where we can collect the waste in a very hygienic and very efficient and optimal way. So even just this, let's say really the practical side of things, came a lot of challenges. And then challenges around how people think about what we're doing. A delivery driver doesn't necessarily come in contact with waste every day in a normal job. So changing the approaches, changing the preconceptions is also a big part of change. And I have to say that's a running theme throughout Woosh, is by starting something so completely new and quite challenging, is we had a lot of challenges and barriers to overcome through the whole journey.
And one of those challenges was also, I think, the building of a Woosh ecosystem. We very much love that word at Ellie.Connect, as we're building an ecosystem as well. Can you maybe tell us some more about how this ecosystem looks like?
Sure. So we spoke a lot about the logistics and the service aspect of what we do, but actually our ecosystem, as we define it today, has three core components. One is the service, which is where we started, but there's also a very important component, which of course is the diaper, and a third component, which is the end-of-life processing of the used product. So if we take a diaper, we see within a closed ecosystem, which is what Woosh has, a huge opportunity to also optimize the diaper for the ecosystem. And that means as Woosh, we are also incentivized to think about our design choices, material choices, the way we build up the diaper, not only in function of our very specific customers, the people that work in daycares who take care of the kids, which is a market on its own, we see, but also in terms of the last part of the ecosystem, or the last part of the product journey, which is taking back the diaper for recycling or processing in a more sustainable way. So we see that we have a lot of opportunity and a lot of hooks where we can have a great effect on not only the product but also the end of life solution, and we can balance the two so that we can achieve a more efficient, a more impactful, full story, full ecosystem.
Okay, great to hear. So you also have a novelty. You just launched your own Woosh diaper.
Yeah.
Great. Can you maybe explain what makes it different? What's your competitive advantage compared to a normal diaper?
Sure. Yeah, we're super happy to indeed to announce that we're launching our own new diaper. No, it's great. It's great to be able to talk about it openly. Also, it's been in the making for a long time, so we're finally we can shout about it to the world.
Wow! Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Two things that we really focused on in developing and designing our own diaper. The first is, of course, taking the needs of our customers into account. We have a very specific audience, a customer base, and we feel that in the diaper market, that there are some unmet needs still. And actually, we really focused on those in the development of our diaper, because that's what makes a difference. That what really takes away the cares and makes the lives of people looking after the children easier. So that's one thing that encompasses a whole load of design choices, but mostly around usability, around ergonomics, around the color coding of diapers. For example, we have very clear, you say a size 4 diaper, you know immediately it has a particular design, it has a particular color, which you can associate with it. So in the busy hustle and bustle of a creche, it's very easy to get the right size and to put the diapers on. And we focus on the user experience a lot. In the second, on the second side, we really focused on how can we make this diaper, which is our first diaper, and I say first deliberately because we have a lot of plans to do follow-up developments, but the first diaper which can be more optimized for recycling and for reduced environmental impact.
Yeah.
And what do I mean by that? Two things. One, we focus on our material choices very carefully. So we include, for example, recycled materials in the packaging and in the diaper itself, which is quite novel also in the diaper world.
Okay.
And secondly, design for recyclability. So here we focus on monomaterials. We think about which kind of materials in the diaper makes it more complex to recycle, and wherever we can, we start to remove them from our product. So as I said, it's the first diaper. It's a V1, if you like. We have a lot of plans to go further steps, but we already made some very concrete choices and concrete changes in this first diaper that we launched, so that we can start the journey, let's say, of...
Well, congratulations. Yeah. So I hope that will be a success, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. It's a very good approach. You start from the users. You have built the knowledge of the ecosystem, so it makes sense that you're going that way as well. You are pioneering. You're the first circular diaper service in Belgium. I know that it might take some missionary work as well. Yeah. How do you engage with your clients, potential clients, to convince them about the added value and the importance of circular economy in that industry?
Yeah, I would say it's extra hard for Woosh in a way from where we started from, because the circular economy didn't exist in the industry. So it wasn't only trying to convince people that circular economy could add value in the industry, it was really asking people very transparently to support our mission, to even set it up. So it's like even a step back from the industries or the markets today where recycling and circularity exists as an option. So the first thing we did was made it very clear to our potential customers that we are a mission-based company. That means that we don't have all the solutions today, but we are committed to continuously researching, developing, taking concrete steps towards where we believe the solutions lie. And actually, we found that approach, communicating very transparently to our potential customers, it's the only way you can do it, actually, especially when you don't have the immediate solution to offer. Yeah. So very consciously, we positioned ourselves like that in the market. We are trying to change the system. We're trying to bring something new, and we need the support of our customers to enable us to do it. It's not easy, but we did feel that it's a story which resonated with our customers and that they understand. Yeah. And I think that's really key. If you talk about the way some companies approach the circular economy in a very commercial or a very opportunistic way, you mention words like greenwashing or overclaiming or these kind of things, and very quickly those companies come to an end point because consumers are becoming more and more educated about the circular economy and about sustainability. And we at Woosh believe that transparency is a very important tool in order to really gain trust and really make impact with your customers.
Okay, mission-based company. I think that's nice. You talked about clients. Let's talk about clients today. You are focusing on the B2B customers, the daycare centers, not on the parents, the B2C customers today. Why that specific choice?
Yeah, we see in our model that logistics is a big part of the organization. And for sure, when we were starting, our approach was to create, let's say, the biggest impact or have the biggest impact. And in a particular B2B context, you often have things which are multiples of what a consumer at home might use. So the number of diapers which are used in one location, for example, the amount of waste produced in one location. So very, if you think in terms of efficiency and effectiveness of starting a new service, we wanted to start somewhere where, to test the idea, we could indeed begin with a location or a kind of market where we could run very efficiently. If you think that only 1 in 14 households has diaper waste, those kids also grow up, and every year that household changes location. It's incredibly, if you think about the waste component, it's incredibly costly also to start to immediately service those users at home. You have to send a waste truck down a street to collect waste from 1 in 14 households, something like that. Yeah. So actually, very logistically, it makes much more sense to focus on high concentrations of waste, and then immediately you're directed towards the locations where there are many children during the day who use a lot of diapers, where we could really focus on building a bespoke service towards those users of large quantities of products.
I would also like to talk a little bit about Woosh and partnerships. What is the importance of partnerships and connections for Woosh in this story?
Hugely important. So it might seem that Woosh is a building and taking control of the ecosystem in its entirety. We are in the end actually, but we see ourselves as a little bit in an architect position within the ecosystem, and partners are extremely important. Actually, with Woosh, we created 3 separate businesses in one. We have a diaper brand which we're launching, and in this part we have a number of partners and collaborations in material suppliers, in diaper producers, in all across higher up the value chain. In the service part of the business, we also work with partners on logistics, on different aspects of really delivering the service. And on the processing or end-of-life part, we also work with partners, technology providers, financiers, partners who can help us with implementation of our waste processing and recycling facilities. So partnerships is like a given for us. It's like the only way we believe that it's possible to do business in such a complex situation as the circular economy is, as you know.
And what do you look for in a partner when you select?
That's a good question. We focus on partners who have shared values to Woosh. So because we are mission driven and we focus on, let's say, the long term, we like to see partners who also share a bit the same approach, who want to invest in the future, who see the value of circularity, and who see us a little bit as a partner in growth. So I think it's this case of 1 + 1 = 3. We really see partners as an opportunity to take, let's say, complement each other in growth. We also look for partners who are willing to do something different, not always follow the path that's been trodden before, who are willing to invest, who are willing to innovate and to try things without worrying too much if it's immediately the absolutely 100% correct decision, or whether we can learn together on the way, but at least we make very concrete steps in developing. So I think those are 2 of the things.
And one of those examples is a partnership with IVBO, Intermunicipal Cooperation for Waste Removal and Processing in Bruges, West Flanders. Great. How did that partnership go about? Can you tell a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, we're in touch with many partners across partners and stakeholders across the whole waste industry, actually, across other industries also, as I mentioned. But in the waste industry, in Belgium, indeed, Belgium is divided into municipalities, and each municipality has a kind of organization which is responsible for waste which is produced within the municipality. And IVBO is the case in Bruges.
Yeah.
And from the beginning of Woosh, when I spoke about the pilot project, there were 3 regions where we focused our pilot project: around Mechelen, around Ghent, and in Bruges. And so naturally, in Bruges was already a concentration of believers of Woosh, and organically has ended up being a very dense area of our customers. So it made logistic sense to start to consolidate our waste from across Flanders and Belgium in Bruges. And that, coupled with the innovative approach and outlook of IVBO, and the willingness, like I said, to believe in the long term, to try new things, to support us on the mission, really led to an opportunity in the partnership to set up the first recycling plant.
Okay. Great. We're almost at the end of the episode. Let's zoom out a little bit, look into the future. You already shared the launch of your own Woosh diaper. What are your next steps to take other than that?
So we just launched our diaper. Later this year, we have a second milestone, which is that we will start recycling. We will place our first recycling installation in Bruges. So those 2 milestones to cover in 1 year is
wow.
So 2 big milestones for us this year. So short and medium term, this is where our focus really lies.
Okay.
As I mentioned before, longer term is let's say innovating as much as we can within our model, and understanding where the new opportunities might be.
Okay, great to hear. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
You're already inspiring myself, and I'm sure all the listeners and viewers. Can you maybe share some lessons learned with the audience as well?
Sure.
In 3 words, perhaps, launching a circular startup?
Yeah. How would I describe it? The first would be insightful. So a very, very rich and very, very steep learning curve for us. Okay. Like I mentioned, we are almost 3 companies in one, and each of those 3 company domains is an entire industry in itself. So the amount of knowledge we gained and the amount of let's say challenges we had to overcome in all 3 areas was very insightful. We really learned a lot. A second is uncertain. So like any startup, there is always a bit of a leap of faith you have to take at the beginning. Trying something new, trying something innovative in a circular system which doesn't yet exist comes with a lot of uncertainty, let's say. So you have to be, or we had to be, we had to accept that. And the third would be very rewarding. So both in terms of the recognition from our daycare customers, who are very grateful that we exist and that we can take away some of their worries and some of their logistics troubles around diapers, around choosing the right diapers, around diaper waste. This is very, very motivating and energizing. And secondly, the proudness of being able to produce our first new product, to launch new things which are accepted in the market is really very, very motivating. Yeah.
Great to hear. I feel your enthusiasm. Maybe to end, is there one final, because we have an audience now of listeners and viewers, one final call to action or message you would like to share today? Get kits, everyone.
I would say do it. If you have an idea, do it. Try and find a way to do it, and try and find a way to really add value, because I believe, and I wish we strongly believe, that creating a product or creating a service or creating a new business model, because it's circular alone or because it's sustainable alone, will not be enough. Maybe you can surf the wave for another few years or something, but there has to be real, let's say, user value created also. And ultimately, these systems, because they are just starting up, rely on a lot of weight and a lot of how do you say economically then costs, but also energy, time, motivation to be placed on the customer. The linear economy is built so that everything is cheap and easy and super accessible to people. And suddenly you're faced with how do you replicate that entire system in a totally new system, a circular system, which is in its infancy. You don't have the economies of scale.
Yeah.
Therefore, cost is always going to be a challenge. And I would say if there's a way to both add value, real value to your customer, and try to embed the additional cost, if there is one, to making your product or service circular, try and embed it in the model from the beginning, so the customer doesn't have to bear that burden, let's say. And I think that's the way that we can truly move to a circular system. It's for companies and for people starting businesses and producing products and services to take responsibility to make it work and not rely on a customer to pay an extra X% or to make some kind of to give something up in place of the way they do things today. So focus on value, and the rest will come. Okay,
great. Well, Alby, very interesting episode. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your experience and insights. I'm sure everyone is excited now to launch their own circular business. In any case, if you don't know where to start, you can start by joining www.Ellie.Connect.com to find the right partners in starting a circular ecosystem. In any case, to everyone who is listening or watching, please, if you have any comments, remarks, thumbs up, please share on our socials and where the podcast episode can be found. We hope you will tune in next time for another very interesting episode. And I would say keep on going and let's continue to do great things together. Thank you.
Thank you.